Salaki, I received a phone call, but I'm gonna have to make this into a part two. But pretty much, man. Hey, we were broken down, man, to the lowest, and then not to mention Christianity. All these particular things that happened throughout history, and there was no justice that was served. So, what do you think the Lord Yahweh Shemi Yahshua is going to do to our enemies? Right? Let's go to back to the Chat GBT real quick. And it says, others argue that justice remains incomplete because there was no legal accountability for those who profited from slavery. Wealth, land, education, economic opportunities lost through slavery were never fully restored. The effects of slavery and later discriminatory policies have continued across generations. Debates over reparations continue, with supporters viewing that them as a way to address enduring harms, and opponents raising questions about implementation, responsibility, and effectiveness. It says, from an ethical perspective, many traditions distinguish between ending injustice and repairing injustice. Ending slavery was a necessary act of justice, but whether society has fully repaired the damage is widely debated, right? So, when you go to Numbers 35 and verse 33, it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So who shed the blood of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Semi-Indians? It was the so-called white man, right? So his blood has to be shed to cleanse this land. But this land is the only way that it's going to be cleansed is by his blood and by those nuclear missiles that's going to hit this place. And this place will never be inhabited again. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So continuing on, right? When you go back to the Chat GBT, I'm speaking in regards to eye for an eye was justice served. And it says, if you are asking specifically about eye for an eye, the principle of proportional retribution, then the answer is no. Under an eye for an eye standard, justice will require that those responsible for the wrongdoing experience a punishment proportionate to the harm that they caused. In the case of American slavery, and the scripture says, give unto her double, right? So Esau, he got a drink of the cup. Everything that he did to us, he's going to have to pay for it double, man, right? And that's righteous, But they want to try to denounce the scriptures. They want to denounce who the true Israelites are. They want to denounce prophecy. But what, man? They can't confound us, man. And they can't break down prophecy correctly. And this is why we're bringing this word out, man, because these are good news. This is the gospel, okay, for the Israelites to know that you will be rightfully you will receive retribution, Salakia, and we cannot wait for that, man, because it's been too long, right? And it says the vast majority of enslavers were never criminally punished for enslaving, abusing, or exploiting people. Many continue to keep wealth accumulated through enslaved labor after slavery ended, right? So they still profited for the things that happened from generation to generation, right? And they love to not hold accountability. And this is why I want to read this precept. This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse, let me see, and verse 21. It says, prepare a slaughter for his children, right? A slaughter. This is what the Lord is saying. For whose children? All right, the wicked. Prepare a slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities, right? So it says they none will rise or possess the land because they say, oh, well, we didn't do it. That was our forefathers and so on and so on. But you still profited from it, right? So this is for you. It says, for I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off Babylon, the name, and the remnant, and son and nephew, saith the Lord. So, hey, the Lord son, nephew, grandfathers, fathers, they all get enslaved, man. Okay? And this is true retribution. This is what the Lord is going to do on the behalf of the Israelites. Okay? And we cannot wait. This will happen. But everybody don't want to say, oh, slavery wasn't that bad. Forget about it, move on. That was in the past. No, but the Lord required which is past, man. The Lord didn't forget, right? The Lord is still not happy. The Lord is a just power, right? So surely he will avenge the elect and the nation of Israel, man. All right. Continuing on, it says, Countless victims died without seeing freedom, accountability, or restoration. So an eye for an eye means direct, proportional punishment for the perpetrators that did not occur. Right. So the perpetrators, they didn't receive no punishment. So best believe when they come back in reincarnation and first fruits of slavery, they're going to receive judgment, man. Some emphasize retributive justice, eye for an eye, where wrongdoing deserves proportional punishment. Others emphasize restorative justice, focus on repairing harm. Many religious traditions, including much of Christianity, also emphasize mercy and leave in ultimate judgment. I said, so let's type in Isaiah. Isaiah 14 and 21. So I asked Isaiah 14 and 21, numbers and all the scriptures, and it's saying, does it prove according to prophecy that there will be true justice? And it says those passages have often been understood by some readers as pointing to the God's ultimate justice, but whether they prove a future eye for an eye judgment is interpreted different across Jewish and Christian belief, which is bullshit because we just read it and we understand that this will happen. It says many interpreters understand this is an expressive principle that the Most High will bring justice upon persecutors. Others read it primarily as a call for believers to endure persecution faithfully, trusting the Most High rather than seek personal vengeance, which we have to wait on the Lord. Taken together, these passages support a biblical theme that the Most High ultimately judges oppression, violence, and injustice. For people who believe these prophecies have an end times or ultimate fulfillment, they are evidence that no justice, including atrocities such as slavery, murder, and persecution, will go unanswered. Whether they establish a literal eye for eye repayment is where interpretations differ. Some Christians point to the passage like Revelation 13 and 10, and later judgment revelations indicating that persecutors receive what they have done. Others emphasize that the justice is perfectly righteous, but not always a simple one for retaliation. So if your question is, do these scriptures teach that the Most High will ultimately bring true judgment? Many believers answer yes. See, and this is ChatGPT letting you know. And it says, if your question is, do they prove that there will be literal proportional repayment for every historical atrocity? That conclusion is held by some interpreters, but is not universally accepted. Right, so the whole world don't accept it. Right, so just letting you know that only a few are going to understand this truth. But everybody's going to see the judgment that the Lord is going to bring upon our enemies. Right, so whether they believe it or don't agree with it or not, hey man, the Lord is not a man that he shall lie. He will bring these things to come to pass. Right, so when you go to Revelation 13 and 9, if any man have an ear, let him hear. Meaning, if you got the spiritual eye salve or spiritual ears to understand and comprehend these prophecies and these scriptures, right? Hey, listen to him. And it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So we are patiently waiting, suffering for the Lord to make this prophecy come to pass. Because best believe, hey, man, hey, the Lord is going to put these damn devils in captivity, man. He's going, and that's why he was deemed to be King of Kings and Lord of Lords, man. Because he's going to put all these kings in the east, all the ones who think they're going to be in power next after World War III, he's going to put them in their place, man. And best believe they're going into slavery just like we did, all right? And they're going to receive harsh judgments. The Lord is not a man that he should lie, and he's not playing games with these other nations. So they could try to say, oh, they're going to get away with it and so on and so forth, but no, the Lord is not playing. These things will happen, right? Now I want to read Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And those strangers, okay, actually, if you want to be technical, those strangers will be talking about us, because we were never born in the land. We're foreign from Israel. We were born in America, right? But in our past lives, we were there. We was exiled and so on and so forth. So the Lord is going to set us back into that land, all right? And we're going to be all joined together as one nation, okay? No more split, Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom. We're going to be one kingdom, one people, right? And it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And that's righteous judgment right there, And that was pretty much it. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Little one, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash, and double honors to our apostles, our elders, and bishops, a great millstone who will and teach well and sound doctrine. Peace, love, and salutation to you. I come out there doing the work with truth and sincerity. So next time I want to say, call me Ashawala, Wafa Babor, Shalom.